Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to get rid of villagers in different ways. I have tested out all of these methods and from personal experience, these are the ones that I thought would work the best. I got rid of around 15 villagers using these methods. Some do involve time traveling, but I'm also going to be showing you guys methods where you don't need time traveling. So yeah, find whichever one works best for you. So I hope that this video is helpful. First, I want to talk about some rumors that do not work. There are lots of people who say hit the villager with a net and make them angry, push them until they get mad, and this apparently gets the villager to move out faster. That is all not true. If anything, it counts as an interaction. If you fence and block a villager in an area, it will not increase the chances of them leaving. So best not to waste your time with these methods if you want to actually get rid of any villagers. The first method is using an Amiibo. Now, if you have the physical Amiibos for the villager you want to put into your island, you can do so by logging into your Nook stop at residential services and by scanning the card. And by doing this, it will invite the villager into the campsite. So all you have to do is go to your campsite and there is the villager. Now, because you invited them by using an Amiibo, you just have to keep talking to them until they request you make a DIY for them. If they request you to make a DIY that you don't have, they will actually give you the DIY recipe for it. So you actually have until 5 AM to craft them this DIY. So once you have done it, just give it to them, and then from here you can either one, choose to save and time travel to the next day, or just keep playing like normal if you don't want to time travel. So on the next day, the camper will not be at the campsite. You actually have to invite them back in again using the Amiibo. So we're just going to be doing that now. Go back to the campsite, talk to the villager a couple of times until they request another DIY, and then we are going to go off and make that one too. Once you have crafted it, give the villager the DIY and they may give you something in return for your work. So you can keep on talking to the villager and they will hint to you that they want to move to the island but they need a bit more convincing. So yeah, you just keep playing as normal or time travel until the next day. Do the same as before, invite them over using the Amiibo, go to the campsite, craft them the requested DIY, go and give it to them, and now on the third day you can actually try and convince them to move into your island. Now if you have 10 villagers in your island already, this is one of the easiest way to get rid of the villager that you don't want. So if you have an Amiibo, you can actually choose who you want to kick out. So here are the list of my villagers, and today I'm actually going to be getting rid of Poppy to give to someone else. Now Genji is just going to talk to Poppy to see if it's okay if she moves out, and he will come back saying that Poppy was planning to move out anyways, and Genji has confirmed he's moving to my island. Now this immediately puts Poppy into boxes. So I called my friend over to go and pick her up. And once she has invited Poppy over, she's moved out of my island. And then the next day, if you look at the plot, it has already been reserved for Genji, and then the day after, Genji would have moved in, and there you have it. That is method number 1. That's very easy. There is something interesting I figured out just recently as well. So I had the Amiibo for Phoebe, which I bought because I wanted all of the reactions, but when I tried to invite her to the campsite, I kept on getting this answering machine error message. So I did a bit of research, and turns out this happens when the villager is in line to move onto your island already. So to get Phoebe to move onto my island, I had to kick out a villager and keep a plot empty, which meant I can't use Amiibos or the campsite. So here we have Meringue in boxes. Next day the plot was empty, so I could have island hunted if I wanted to, but I didn't. Then day after, the plot is reserved for Phoebe. Now, I just wanted to say that I actually had to kick out 2 villagers before I was able to get Phoebe to move in. And I have heard cases where people had to kick out up to 4 villagers. I'm assuming that you have around 5 villagers ready to move onto your island. So if you use any of the Amiibos, they will not work. And something else I found interesting as well, if you do not fill your plot, for my last 2 random villagers that moved onto my island, they came from my friends' islands. The second method is using the campsite. Usually once every 1 to 2 weeks, you will have a random villager that will visit your campsite. And as soon as you turn on your game, you will know because Isabel will tell you in the announcements. And I also heard that you have a higher chance of getting a villager with a nature that you don't have already on your island. So here I luckily ran into Audie, so of course I'm going to keep her. So keep talking to her, play her games, and just keep spamming her until she asks if she should move to the island. Now sometimes they may ask you to play a game for her. If you lose, just keep on talking until she asks to move in again. So here I played the game and I got the card wrong. That's okay, just keep on spamming them and then they will notice that you are being very insistent and they will ask if you want to play again. So here she gave me another chance, so I went with black and I won the game. So now she wants to move to my island. Now the problem with this is that you cannot choose which villager moves out. So the villager in the campsite would choose a villager at random. If this is not the villager you want to move out, do not finish this conversation because the game saves automatically. Just close the game and then restart. So I've restarted my game and I'm just going back to the campsite, and then you have to do it all over again. Just talk to Audie and then just keep spamming her until she gives you a chance to play a game again for her to move onto your island. Right now I'm actually trying to get Blair to move out. So I played her game, I won, and then now she's going to go talk to Tom Nook. And I was very lucky because she chose Blair to move out, and that was the villager I wanted out of my island. So if, once again, this is not the island that you want to move out, reset the game, do not continue the conversation, and try again. Since Blair was the one I wanted to move out, I'm going to complete this conversation, and that's final. She is moving out. Now once again, like the Amiibos, once you finish this interaction, Blair will immediately be put into boxes. So I'm just going over to her house and there she is. If anyone wants to come over and grab her, they have to do it that day. And then the next day, the plot is already reserved for Audie to move in. The third method is time travel, and this was the method I used the most when I was trying to kick out the majority of my villagers. So I just time travel 1 day at a time, run through my island, see if there's anyone with a thought bubble on top of their head. If I find no one, just save, end the game, and then we are going to time travel to the next day. Once again, run around your island and see if there's any villagers that have a thought bubble on their head. If not, just save and end the game and time travel to the next day. So on the next day, bingo, we have Judy with the thought bubble on her head. So she's thinking about leaving. Now we don't want Judy to leave, we want Angus to leave. So we are going to time travel back 1 day. So now we know on the 22nd of May, someone wants to leave your island. Start your game, and once again, I'm just going to run around and see if there's anyone else with the thought bubble. Judy once again has it. I don't want her to leave, so I'm just going to immediately close my game without saving. Time travel to the next day, and then once again, Judy still wants to leave. Time travel backwards 1 day, and we're going to go back into the game. So Judy does not want to leave this time around. I ran around the island and no one else had the thought bubble, so we're going to close the game and time travel forward 1 day. So now we know that on the 21st and 22nd of May, we have a very high chance of a villager wanting to leave. So here we have Raymond wanting to leave, and we do not want him to leave, so we're going to close the game without saving. And I just want to say that when you are looking for the villager with the thought bubble on their head, you need to do this quickly because you only have about 3 minutes until the game auto saves. So you want to do it before it saves. So I'm just literally going back and forth on the 21st to 22nd and checking which villagers have the thought bubble on their head. Once again, I'm trying to get rid of Angus, but I'm not having much luck right now. Now, something annoying I want to point out, the villager that wants to leave is picked at random. It doesn't matter if you've ignored them for like a month, it doesn't matter if you're best friends with them. Unfortunately, they all have the same chance of asking to leave. Now, this does take quite a bit of time. You have a 1 in 10 chance every time to have the villager you want to move out actually ask to move. So just keep on going, keep time traveling back and forth until you get the villager you want. Then finally, we have Angus with the thought bubble on his head. He wants to move out. This was the villager we were trying to get to move, so we're gonna go talk to them and then of course encourage him to leave. So if a villager chooses to leave this way, the next day they will be in boxes. So if a friend wants to pick them up, then that's their chance. The day after, the plot will be empty, so you can go and hunt for a new villager. If you don't, by 5 AM the next day, someone random will move in. The last method I'm going to show you guys is the no time traveling method. Now, if you don't time travel, not gonna lie, this will take a long time. But pretty much you can't do anything until you see a villager with a thought bubble on their head. If you chat to them and they want to move out, just close the game without saving and then just open the game again, but ignore them and talk to everyone else, play as normal. So I'm just gonna go around talking to everyone except for Judy. On the next day, we have Sherb running up to me. Now, when this happens, unfortunately, no one is going to leave your island that day. On the next day, I'm just going to check out my villagers. Then I see Genji with the thought bubble on his head. I don't want him to leave, so just ignore him and play as normal for the rest of the day. Next few days, unfortunately, I had villagers running up to me, wanting to give me stuff, wanting to trade. So when this happens, like I said, no villager will ask to move out that day. Just be patient, play as normal, and a few days later I had Maple with the thought bubble. So actually at this point I don't want any of my villagers to leave, but I want to show you guys how the thought bubble transfers every day. So next day we have it transferred to Meringue, and then the day later we have it transferred to Sherb. So once again, the villager that asks to move out is random, unfortunately. There's not much we can do about it. So just be patient, and when a villager you want to move out has the thought bubble, go talk to them. If there is a villager that you want to stay that has a thought bubble, just ignore them for the whole entire day. Don't talk to them. And then the next day, the thought bubble should transfer to someone else, unless if a villager runs up to you. Those are the 4 methods I found work the best when trying to kick out villagers from your island. So I hope that this video was helpful for everyone, and yeah, let me know how you guys go with these methods. Please thumbs up this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and also let me know in the comments down below what other Animal Crossing videos you want me to make on this channel. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!